Hey, 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 happy Tuesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the Grand Poobah, as I am the founder and editor-in-chief of The Gaming Gang. So tonight is Tuesday, June 9th, 2020. This is episode 498 of The Daily Dope. Yes, we are rapidly approaching the magic 500th episode. So as I always like to point out, first of all, if you like the video, by all means, please give it a thumbs up. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that little notification bell. It will not only let you know when the Daily Dope streams live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube. It'll also inform you when I upload standalone videos, which there's lots of stuff on the horizon coming up probably this weekend and into next week as well. So, of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Of course, this is a live stream, so that also means that chat is available on YouTube. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but I do pay attention to chat. So if you'd like to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question, comment, by all means, chime in. I will do my best to respond. So I see John Bogle's already joining us in chat. Good to see you, John. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Got a good mix of news today. We've got a few different items that we're going to talk about. And of course, as I've been pointing out for Thursday's episode, which will mark the 500th episode of The Daily Dope, I am going to take folks behind the scenes here at the Duct Tape Studios. People are going to go, what? What the hell? And do a bit of a Q&A. So reality is Thursday's show won't have news. So we're just going to kind of hang out probably for about an hour and just, have a little bit of fun like we normally do. Except normally what we do is we talk about tabletop gaming around here. It is a very casual show, very light. It is certainly not rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination, just kind of kicking back and having a bit of fun. So, that being said, I see Glenn Darren has popped in. So, good evening, all of Mr. Grand Poobah. Yes, and of course, I get Grand Poobah from the Flintstones, obviously enough. I would think most people understand that one. The, what the hell was the name of his club? Gosh, I can't even, I'm going to kick myself for not remembering the club that Fred and Barney belong to. But they have the Grand Poobah. Because isn't Mr. Slate the Grand Poobah? Maybe not. I don't remember. Anyway, let's jump on into the news because I've got a bit today. Because arriving this month from Ravensburger is Back to the Future Dice Through Time. Here's the dope. Great Scott! Biff stole the DeLorean and went on a joyride through time, disrupting events and scattering items through space and time. Now it's up to you to help Doc and Marty repair the space-time continuum before time paradoxes unravel the very fabric. Hey, wait a second, what's going on here? We shouldn't have this many items popping up. We only have 2 here. For crying out loud. Did I not go through? It's been a crazy day so far today. There we go. That'll be right. It looks like I'm going to have to make sure that each news item has the right number of slides showing up. What can I tell you? The Benevolent Order of the Buffalo? That could be it. That could be the secret society that Fred and Barney belong to. Isn't it Water Buffalo? It might be Water Buffalo. I don't know. Anyway, now it's up to you to help Doc and Marty repair the space-time continuum before time paradoxes unravel the very fabric of the universe. Jump in your time machine, complete events, return items, and help. The future is in your hands. In this cooperative dice game, you'll take control of a DeLorean and travel through the entire Back to the Future film trilogy, completing memorable events and returning key items to their proper place, and time before the out-of-time tracker reaches game over. That wasn't correct English there. Should be return items to their proper place before the out-of-time tracker reaches game over. I don't know why they add time in there. Each round, you and your fellow players will roll dice to determine your actions, which include time travel, moving meddling members of the Tannen family, and more. You'll use your dice to complete events from the films. Once an event is complete, you'll draw an item card, which you'll need to return by traveling to the year and location listed on the card. Then the out-of-time tracker is reduced, buying you more time, and you earn an Einstein token. Einstein tokens provide one action anyone can use later. In a pinch, you can even ripple dice by placing them on your space on the board, allowing other players in future years to pick them up and use them. After everyone has taken their actions, advance the out-of-time tracker, depending on which year has the most unresolved events. Finally, add paradox tokens to all unsolved events on the board. In later rounds, these will cause the out-of-time tracker to go up even faster. Return all those items before the out-of-time tracker reaches game over to win. I know, different movie. Game over, man! Game over! Back to the Future Dice Through Time is for 2 to 4 players, ages 10 and up, plays in around 60 minutes, and should carry an MSRP of $29.99 when it arrives on June 21st. I am not positive, but I do think this is a Target exclusive. Don't know. I'm not positive because the only retailer that is showing it, because I was trying to find MSRP information for the game, and the only retailer that's showing anything for this is Target. No, like Miniature Market or Fun Again Games or anybody like that. It's only at Target. So I do believe this is going to be a Target exclusive. There are 2 Back to the Future games that are arriving this month. This one from Ravensburger, and then there's the other one, which is from Funko Games, which I talked about a while back. To be honest, this one looks a little more interesting because this actually it covers all 3 movies, whereas I do believe the Funko game is simply Back to the Future. So we've got a Gray Day popping into chat, as well as Dan from No Enemies here. So the Loyal Order of Water Buffaloes, Gray Day has pointed out, is the society that Fred and Barney belong to on the Flintstones. There you go. So you got the water buffalo part. So cool beans. Yes. So that is where I get Grand Poobah from. Although I know it's been used in other things, but when I say Grand Poobah, I'm always like Flintstones. All right. Let's move right along. Up on Kickstarter from the fine folks over at Greenbrier Games is Barbarian Battlegrounds, Tales of Barbaria. I've got the dope. Let's make sure we got enough of these images too going on here. Yeah, there we go. Yep. We can barely believe it's here. Tales of Barbaria, our new game in the Barbarian Battlegrounds line, is an incredible standalone game. Building on the brawny shoulders of its predecessor, this standalone game adds even more depth to the cute but stabby gameplay. Stab, stab. Tales of Barbaria offers more strategy than with a new adventure phase. Bears brave enough to venture from the village to go explore allow another path to victory, while those who prefer to stay cozy near their cave can use new market cards to add more choices during build. Do you think Ursine is telling you to brawl? Look at the choices in the Mercenary Fate and Empowered decks to help you. Also included in this Kickstarter is the Candy Horde expansion. While villages may battle it out to be top bear, they must be prepared for a new nemesis, the Candy Horde. To avoid a sticky situation and stay on the positive side of danger, heroes from each village will rise to test their mettle. The barely best in skill, these heroes will have specialty cards and dice to show off their abilities when you roll at the start of each round. Tread carefully adventuring. If you go out into the woods today, you're sure for a big surprise. It's not just a picnic basket. It's the Horde, which I believe look kind of like zombies. There is a Kickstarter video. It's about 2 minutes long. Here is the issue that I've got with the video. The music that's used in it right away sets off a copyright strike. So I did want to share the video with you because it'll give you a much better look at the various different aspects of this game, especially if you're not familiar with Barbarian Battlegrounds. But I have replaced it with the music that my pal, Dan from No Enemies Here, put together for me for the opening of the show, which lately I have not been doing. I've been just starting off from a blank screen. But so we're going to get to hear Dan's music instead of the copyright striking soundtrack from the video. What can I tell you? Gotta, mess around, gotta play around here. Because I did want to share this with you without getting in trouble on YouTube. So kick back. Like I said, video's only a little less than 2 minutes long. If I can get this. Hey, there you have it. So yes, that music did actually fit fairly nicely in with that. Barbarian Battlegrounds Tales of Barbaria is for 2 to 6 players, ages 10 and up, plays in around 30 to 60 minutes. You can score the core game plus the Candy Horde expansion, as well as stretch goals for a $40 pledge through July 1st. Expected delivery is March of next year. So this is building on the original Barbarian Battlegrounds, which I did review. The game is fine. This seems like there's a lot more to it now. I think the big selling point of the game is kind of the art style is really what I think. So this just launched today. I'm sure that this will fund, but I don't think this is going to like blow the doors off for Greenbrier Games. But it is a cool game. And if it's still similar to the original game, one of the aspects I liked about it was basically the hidden action selection. So you kind of hide everything behind your little wall. You got a little paper wall there. In fact, you see it right there in the image as well. So see, Kabuki Kid is in chat with us as well. Good to see you. So I got a fever, and the only cure is more Glockenspiel. There you go. I thought I needed more cowbell personally, but that's okay. So moving right along, Mantic Games is going to be releasing a 2-player starter set for their Kings of War Vanguard series. Here's the dope as I go and make sure that we have the correct images here. Yep, we do. There we go. Okay. I was working on some stuff today, and I kind of was running back and forth between the duct tape studios down here and upstairs, and I lost track of where I was at setting these slideshows up. Yeah. Okay. So you asked for it, and we've listened. Not at your window or anything creepy like that. Just when you've told us in person. Wow, this has got awkward. Let's move on. Since Vanguard launched, plenty of people in stores said they wished there was a starter set to make it easier to get into the game. Well, we're delighted to say we've done just that. The set contains absolutely everything you need to start playing. It features the latest warband profiles for the heroic Basilians and the menacing Night Stalkers, as well as a rulebook. The game box comes with 22 miniatures total, a 2-player set booklet, a cardboard counter sheet, 16 power dice, 8 8-sided dice, bases, a Mantic tape measure, and a hardcover Vanguard rulebook. The Kings of War Vanguard starter set is for 2 players, ages 14 and up, plays in around 90 minutes per battle, and will carry an MSRP of $99 when it hits stores next week on June 15th. So, strangely enough, we've got 2 kind of starter sets, right? So we had the Warhammer 40K Imperius Aeronautica or whatever, Aeronautica Imperius or something that we talked about yesterday. That comes out next week. We also have this 2-player starter set for Kings of War Vanguard that comes out next week. So interesting. But I have to say, there are 22 miniatures. I think each of the factions gets 1 large resin miniature, and then the other 10 on each side are just, or 11. No, I guess it would be 10 on each side, are just going to be standard like 32 millimeter plastic figures. But I had to say, 22 minis, what I believe is the hardcover rule book for the game anyway, as well as your dice, your ruler, things like that, for 100 bones, that is not a bad deal. That is not a bad deal. And I am not familiar with Kings of War. I think Kings of War is more of a, well, obviously it's a fantasy game. We know that. Kings of War, I think, is more large battles, and I think Vanguard is more like skirmish level battles. But I have not taken a peek at either of these, although this looks kind of interesting. This really does look pretty interesting. And like I said, 22 minis, unpainted, of course, for $100. That's not a bad deal. That's nothing to sneeze at right there. So let's move on into some role-playing action, because there are 2 fresh bundles of holding which happen to tackle the German fantasy role-playing game, The Dark Eye. Here's the dope on the core bundle for the set. And checking again, make sure we got the right images. Yes, we do. I'm going to have to check every news piece. Thankfully, we only got a couple more after this. AVENTURA. From January 2018, we've resurrected the Dark Eye bundle featuring the English language edition of the leading German tabletop role-playing game from Ulisses Spiele, The Dark Eye. In continuous publication for more than 30 years, The Dark Eye is Germany's premier fantasy role-playing game. As a heroic adventurer on the island continent of AVENTURA, you'll rebuild the war-weary Middleton realm, marvel at the lands of Ptolemaides, discover lost ruins in steaming jungles. Thankfully, there was no nation I had to pronounce there. Or drive back the evil of the Shadowlands. Rescue innocent victims from cults of the Nameless One, navigate the intrigues at the court of the Empress, or defend border cities from the Orc Storm. This revived offer once again gives you everything you need to start exploring AVENTURA, a rich and believable setting inspired by Europe's medieval lore, forbidding landscapes, and fairy tale castles. For just $12.95, you get all 6 titles in this revived offers player collection as PDF ebooks, including the complete full-color 418-page The Dark Eye core rulebook and free quick start rules, plus the AVENTURA Almanac, AVENTURA map set, the Dark Eye figure flats, and the character sheet packs, or I should say sheets pack. For this revival, we've added the new deluxe character sheets, and if you purchase this offer during its original January 2018 run, you'll also receive this new edition automatically. If you pay more than this offer's threshold price of $25.25, you'll level up and also get this revival's entire Game Master collection with 9 more titles worth an additional $47.50, including the Aventurian Bestiary, the full-length introductory scenario Revelations from Heaven, the Dark Eye Game Master's screen with its accompanying Inns and Taverns booklet, and no less than 6 short heroic works adventures. Ready to see more of AVENTURA? Also check out this revival's all-new companion offer, now in progress, which I will share probably tomorrow. I think I'll share that for you tomorrow. These savings do continue through June 26th, and 10% of your payment after payment gateway fees will be split evenly between this offer's 2 designated charities, Direct Relief and the National Police Accountability Project. Lots of Dark Eye action there. The Dark Eye is interesting. It is different. It is certainly different. In fact, most European role-playing games tend to be quite different than the American-style role-playing games, which I guess we could kind of say same thing goes with a lot of board games as well. At least back in the day, the American-style board games are quite different than the Euro-style board games. But this has kind of this is like a low fantasy setting if you're not familiar with The Dark Eye. It is not real. Well, I guess I could say it's not really high fantasy. It's not a Lord of the Rings sort of kind of game. It's not I would say it's not really kind of like Wheel of Time either. That's a little more high fantasy. But this is interesting. It's got some interesting mechanics. I know some people just can't wrap their heads around them. And then, of course, people over in Europe, especially in Germany, are like, what are you talking about? This is easy. This is how role-playing games should be. So you can save a lot of money if you want to check out The Dark Eye. I have reviewed the core book. There are a few Dark Eye reviews. So I found it interesting. A little more crunchy in some areas than I'm used to. And then it's like not crunchy in other areas. Like I said, it's a unique role-playing game. That is for sure. Let's see what we got going on here in chat. Oh man, you got to give up bones to get this. I think they're talking about Kings of War there. So A Great Day says, yes, Kings of War is bigger battles than Kings of War Vanguard. Like I said, yeah, I knew Vanguard's skirmish level. Like I said, I thought Kings of War is more large scale battles. So usually what you find kind of jumping off topic here. So usually what you'll find in skirmish level miniatures games is a lot more kind of unique. Sometimes they have like characters will have like heroes will have like unique skills, and some units will have unique skills, where a lot of times with large scale games, not as much of a drill down into unique kind of units. That said, of course, you know, taking in mind Games Workshop stuff, things like that. But those games, even though they're like larger scale battles, they're not like old school miniatures where you had hundreds of minis on the game table, not like 35, 40 on a side. So Dan asked if I got his email. I did not. I have not. I'm not sure if you sent it today. I have not really been in front of my computer checking email today. So if you send it out today, I have not taken a peek at it yet. I should point out that we're probably looking at, well, I shouldn't say probably. We are going to be playing some Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, and we usually play on Sundays. So there you go. So a Grade A says, Relic Blade, Frostgrave, I-48, nuts. Man-to-Man are great skirmish games. Frostgrave, I like Frostgrave once they kind of beefed it up a little bit. The initial core book for Frostgrave, I felt left some things to be desired. But yes, I do like how they have expanded upon it. And then they've got, they've got like the jungle one. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's just like Frostgrave. And then of course you've got, what is it? Rangers of the Shadow Keep, from the same designer. That is also a skirmish game, very small scale skirmish game, because I think each of the players has a ranger and like a couple of companions or something like that. So Grade A points out that second edition of Frostgrave is arriving this summer. I should reach out to Osprey. I have really not heard from Osprey in a while. So I don't know. Did some reviews for him and that was it. So, I don't know. So Kabuki Kid says they just got the Battle of the Bulge game from John Butterfield. Haven't even opened it up. Yes, a Grade A points out it's Rangers of Shadow Deep. There we go. So Dan says they got that too. I got to be honest. I don't really see a need for more Bulge games. Just don't. And I am not knocking John Butterfield, because John Butterfield goes way back with a lot of classic titles. But yeah, when it's like, oh, there's a new Battle of the Bulge game, I just kind of go, nah. Nobody can do it like One Page Bulge from Steve Jackson Games. That scratched my itch. I'm kidding. That's ridiculous, that game. It's nothing to it. It is literally one page of rules. That's it. All right, let's get back to the news, because there is another free stay-at-home, play-at-home download for Dungeons & Dragons that's arrived from Wizards of the Coast. And bing! I've got the dope. Once I double-check to make sure we don't have too many. Yes, we're cool. I've got the dope on Heartkiller's Horn. Claiming to possess Heartkiller's Horn, Reindolg makes his move to take control of the Heart's Vale. The non-giant residents have been pressed to declare their allegiance or be destroyed. Do they swear fealty to Jarl Reindolg? He happens to be a frost giant. Or is there another option? Is there another contender to the throne? Sometimes the best choices can be the most dangerous. This is a 4-hour adventure, 4 character levels, 5th through 10th. Also included in the purchase of this adventure, which is free, so you're not purchasing it. Don't know why they kept that in there. Is a version specifically converted for use with the Fantasy Grounds virtual tabletop software. The converted adventure features all the text and maps from the original adventure, along with cross-linking of monsters, spells, magic items, equipment, and story elements, plus the powerful rules automation for which Fantasy Grounds is known. Right now, this 34-page adventure is available as a free PDF download, which also includes those Fantasy Ground assets. It's available at Dungeon Masters Guild through June 14th for free. Nice. Although, I have to point out, we have seen over the past, it's been more than a month now, that every weekday we get a free release from Wizards of the Coast. Almost every day happens to be some sort of adventure. A lot of them are the Adventurers League, which are actually free, but normally only to like game stores. Normally you have to purchase it long after the fact, after they come out. I noticed though that it's been a lot of giant stuff. It's been this storyline with this frost giant, this kind of like Viking-ish frost giant. I think this is the second or third adventure we've seen pop up. And then we've had all of these Bad Fool, the hill giant adventures. And I thought it was funny because the Friday download was, I think it was like the completion of the adventure. And the players have been doing all these different things to try to prevent Bad Fool from attacking the town of Parnast. And then the last adventure, he attacks Parnast. So it's like everything they've done was just kind of a waste of time. Talk about railroads, huh? All right, moving right along. My final news piece. There is a new Glorantha source book. It's available in PDF from, let me get rid of these extra images real quick. Boom. From Troupe Games. It's not a company I'm familiar with. Here's the dope on Valley of Plenty. Valley of Plenty is a campaign source book for Glorantha written for the Quest Worlds rules system. It is completely compatible with HeroQuest Glorantha and easily adaptable for use with RuneQuest Glorantha. The lovingly detailed presentation of the Dundelios tribe's culture and community is system agnostic. Valley of Plenty is the first book of the Gelden Killers saga, a grand campaign that follows the careers of a band of player characters through the destruction of their tribe, its reconstitution in exile, and the effort to reclaim its lost lands and glory. The saga begins in 1602 and stretches to the Dragon Rise and beyond. It's intended as a vehicle to support the development of characters from childhood to herodom in a fluid but consistent setting, in which players can experience adventures ranging from slice-of-life challenges to world-changing conflicts. This book details the adventures of a closely knit clique of youngsters, the Wildlings, from their early childhood through their adult rights. Along the way, GMs and players learn about the culture and community that produced the Wildlings in a natural, organic progression. Neither the GM or their players are forced to drink lore from a fire hose. Valley of Plenty features detailed descriptions of the Ilmal worshipping Deldelios, I think that's how it's probably pronounced, tribe, and the horse Orlanthi. Let's say Orlanthi. Learn the non-Orlanthi Satorite culture by beginning play as a Dundelios child. Alternate rules for creating child characters includes organic development of PC community and family relationships, adventures with escalating risks based on character age, Amal-oriented adulthood rites of the Dundelios, cult descriptions for the Amal, Ridalda, and Drogarsi from a non-Orlanthi perspective. Oh, I love fantasy games. Just trying to get through the pronunciations. New shamanic tradition write-up, including spirit societies. There is a new cult, the Andrid. Extensive player handouts based on character age. 7 scenarios and 6 additional scenario seeds. And buckets of frogs. I do not know what frogs have to do with it. This 150-page PDF is available right now. It is one of the top sellers over at DriveThruRPG, and it can be had for $24.95. So they had me until I got to the $24.95. This sounds really, really interesting. And yes, I understand this is not coming from a big company. It's through the Johnstown Compendium over at Drive Through RPG. But 150-page PDF and it's $25 effectively. Yeah, that's too high. That is just too high. Fingers crossed that maybe they get a sale or something going on, because there is going to be a print on demand. So if the PDF is $25, what are they going to charge for the print on demand? $50 for a 150-page book? I don't know. So I do see the Madman has popped into chat with us as well. Good to see you. So that is it for the news here. Let's see what's going on in chat here. So Kabuki Kid says, would you believe that despite my World War II wargaming tendency, bulge games have never been something I went for? I believe it. I do believe it. I think when you're doing Battle of the Bulge games, that you're kind of tied in to a specific sort of style. I mean, really. So you gotta do it in the winter. It's got to be winter time, so you don't have any options as far as that. You have to take into account that the Americans are not as well supplied as they should be. So I don't know. To me, it's just a little too narrow. Which I guess, it's a bulge, right? Plus, it's been done to death. That's, I guess, mainly why I kind of sit there and go, another bulge game? Really? I don't know. Because you figure there's so many conflicts throughout World War II that really don't get covered that much. I don't know. But then again, bulge games sell. So I guess that's, you got that too. All right, so so talking about learning games through watching videos. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good idea. So Dan says, Fields of Fire is insane with rules, but when you watch a playthrough, no sweat. Yeah, Fields of Fire, if you just sat there trying to figure out how to play that game from the rule book, forget it. It comes across as being the most complex thing you've ever run across. So Great Ace says they've been playing the Louis XI games from Ludofoil. I'm not familiar with them. Great small magazine type games, high quality components and maps. They come from GMT. Good deal. All right. So there needs to be an OSS World War II game. There was an OSS World War II role-playing game, Behind Enemy Lines, that was out there. So Dan says, I want to know about your chair. Well, you'll have to wait until episode 500. You'll have to wait till episode 500. You can ask me about the chair, and I can tell you the story about the chair. So, should have the new microphone tomorrow. Fingers crossed we get that set up. So yes, I will be more than happy to share the story of the chair. So it was basically a review item that was sent to me, and it's kind of funny because how often we really talk about like video games and that. So it is comfy. So I did a review of it. It was on one of the shows. So anyway, all right, that is it for tonight's show. Kind of short, kind of zipping along. Like I said, today I had a bunch of stuff going on, not necessarily related to the gaming gang that was being taken care of, and I was trying to run up and down. And anyway, but it's all good. It wasn't like bad news or anything like that. So, but all right. As I like to point out, if you like the video, by all means, give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And of course, ring that notification bell. If you do subscribe, it'll tell you not only when the Daily Dope streams live, Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube. It'll also let you know when my standalone videos get uploaded, and there are going to be quite a few. Just because I'm taking a week off after Thursday's show, actually it's more than a week. It'll be the rest of this week and all of next week. there will still be unboxings and reviews and things like that popping up. I just held off on doing them because I figured, well, I got the new microphone coming. Might as well do it with the mic. So that's why you want to ring that notification bell. Anyway, everybody who hung out and kept me company live tonight in chat, thank you. Always appreciate people keeping me company while I'm just babbling on with my usual routine. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. And of course, if you don't have an opportunity to watch live and you're watching after the fact, maybe even on Memorex, thank you very much. I certainly appreciate anyone taking some time out to watch this goofball streaming live or after the fact. So everybody enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night / Wednesday morning. I will be back tomorrow. And of course, during our time of pandemic, I like to sign off by asking people to be smart and stay safe. Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. And of course, if you want to catch up on past episodes of The Daily Dope, check out this playlist. And if you'd like to see what YouTube's recommending you take a peek at from the channel, just give a click right over here. Of course, I'm Jeff McAleer, and once again, thank you very much for watching.